Well, I'm back. Hello. I know it's been a minute. Yeah, 10 months is kind of crazy, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I was just lazy and didn't feel like recording a video. But at least we're back. UFC 310, Pantoja versus Asakura. Let's get on with it. The first fight of the card, Kennedy Nishiki versus Lucas Bereski. I don't really need to explain myself for this, fight. Kennedy is way better than Lucas Bereski. Lucas Bereski is dog shit. He's not good. He's chinny, and he could probably get beaten by any heavyweight. But Walter Walker, which Walter Walker we already seen is dog shit himself. Kennedy will probably knock him out either in the first or early in the second with a right hand, or literally could be a jab. The next fight up the card is Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. Honestly, I think this is going to be one of the underrated fights of the card. Yes, I do think Chase Hooper will win, but I don't think it will be as easy as everybody think it's going to be. I think Clay Guida will be able to wrestle with Chase Hooper, move around with Chase Hooper, but Hooper will have the striking advantage, and that's going to be the biggest difference. That's where Hooper will start winning the rounds, and he'll take the decision, maybe a 29-28, or could be a 30-27, but I do think it's going to be more obvious that Chase Hooper wins. On to the next fight up the card, Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. This fight right here is, kind of hard for me to pick because of one thing and one thing only. Grappling. Max Griffin has trouble grappling, but generally, I think the striking will always be there for him against Chiesa. We know Chiesa's chinny. Chiesa was getting caught by Tony Ferguson. I mean, it could honestly be a leg kick battle like Tony was doing, where Max Griffin just leg kicks the shit out of Michael Chiesa's legs. And we know if you put pressure on Michael Chiesa, he crumbles. He is not good. He's honestly just not a good fighter in my opinion. So I think Max Griffin, if he doesn't get taken down or doesn't get his back taken, should take this pretty easily. He probably knocks out Michael Chiesa either late in the second round or early in the third round. Now up to the next fight of the card, Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. Okay, I am going with Joshua Van on this fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Durden found a way to win this fight. Cody Durden puts a lot of pressure on in the first round, and that's Joshua Van's worst round. And we've seen now Joshua Van can be clipped, rocked, and knocked out. Cody Durden can find his chance in the first, but do I think he will? No. I think Joshua Van will be able to protect himself in the first, defend against any type of strike that Cody Durden is trying to throw him. I do think he will get clipped in this match. I'm not sure what round, maybe in the middle of the first. But other than that, I think if Joshua Van keeps to the body shots, slows down Durden between the rounds, he should win a unanimous decision, maybe a 29-28. I don't think he's gonna win the first round, but if Joshua Van just stays patient and relaxed and calm, he should be able to win. Now we're on to the featured fight of the early prelims. Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. The eye poke prince Chris Weidman will win this fight. Of course, he's not the king because, well, the eye poke king is John Jones. Okay, let me be for real on why I think Chris Weidman is gonna win. Honestly, the whole reason I think Weidman is gonna win is because Eric Anders is just not good. He almost lost to Jamie Pickett, and again, having a close fight with Jamie Pickett is just horrible. Jamie Pickett isn't good. He's the lowest level of the middleweight division, and Eric Anders also is really, really chinny. Weidman has looked all right in his performances. Yes, he did cheat, but against Brad Tavares, even though he lost, he did look good. Against Bruno Silva, he cheated a bunch of times. Eventually got a TKO from it because, eye pokes are allowed in UFC. But I think he'll use the eye pokes to his advantage, and eventually, just win a decision by eye pokes. Now we're on to the first fight of the prelims. The first fight of the prelims is Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. I am going with the underdog of this fight, Randy Brown, and here is why. Both of these fighters are really good and very, very well-rounded prospects of the UFC welterweight division, but it comes down to grappling in my opinion. And I think Randy Brown proved in his last fight that he is a very alright or good grappler. He was able to take the back of Ezekiel Dos Santos and keep him down, which is a very hard thing to do. Ezekiel Dos Santos has a black belt in BJJ, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Brian Battle, I'm pretty sure has done grappling too, but when it comes down to it, I think Randy Brown will be able to be more of a technical striker. He will be able to find his reach, get out of the range of Brian Battle of power shots. I think the only thing Brown has to worry for is the power shot of Bryan Battle. And if he stays out of that range, he should be able to take him down or just, you know, fight at range, you know, kickbox, throw his body kicks, throw his head kicks, throw the leg kicks, throw out that jab and win a decision. Maybe a 29-28. I don't think he'll 30-27. I think Brown will find a way to, you know, lose a round. I don't know what round, but he will lose a round. And Randy Brown should win a unanimous decision win. Now we're up to the next fight on the card, which I don't understand why it's on the prelims. The next fight on the card is Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Well, if you know me, you know Aljo is not, you know, particularly my favorite fighter of the UFC. I haven't whipped with him ever since he fought Pedro Munoz, but today that changes. Aljamain Sterling will, honestly, I don't know if he'll dominate Movsar Evloev, but he'll beat him pretty easily. On the ground, I don't see any trouble where Movsar could put Aljamain. I really do think this will be a stand-up fight because they're both way too good in the grappling realm, so they won't be able to take each other down, and if they do, they'll just get immediately back up. So honestly, in the striking, Aljo just dominates him basically. I don't know if dominate is the right word, of course, because, you know, nobody really dominates people unless, you know, you're getting like 10-8s, 10-7s, you know, stuff like that, which Aljo did do to Calvin Kattar. Movsar is a shit striker that got rocked by literally Joaquim Dawodu. You're getting rocked by Joaquim fucking Dawodu. Aljamain is gonna murder you, you know what I mean, in the striking realm. And also in Evloev's last fight against Arnold Allen, he did not win that. That was one of the biggest robberies in my opinion. Arnold Allen should have won 29-28, but of course, you know, they're favoritized, you know, the Daggy fighters, the Russian fighters, of course they do. It's just how it is, but I do think Aljamain is just better everywhere. So I have Aljamain Sterling to win a 30-27 unanimous decision sweep. Now we're on to the next fight of the prelims, Vicente Luque versus Demba Garimbo. Okay, this fight is easier to predict, mainly due to the fact that Luque is just out of his prime. He's not as good as he used to be. He was getting caught by RDA and he was getting wrestled by RDA. Yes, he did take RDA down, but he was still taking shots from RDA and of course grappling with RDA, which, you know, we saw what Geoff Neal did to him. Demba Garimbo is just an amazing prospect, great fighter with great power, well-rounded almost everywhere. I think Garimbo is going to be able to find his shots against Luque and make it look easy, which I hate saying because I do like Luque, and I feel like if Luque was in his prime, he would have a good chance against Garimbo. But I think Garimbo is going to be able to put some very good pressure in the first, you know, find his range, and then eventually when he finally finds his range in the middle of the second round, he'll find that knockout shot, which I do think will be a clean straight to the chin of Luque. So I have Demba Garimbo by knockout in the second round. Now we're on to the featured prelim, Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Piggy Smith. Honestly, do I even have to say anything? Reyes is finally back. He knocked out Dustin Jacoby in his last fight, and he's about to dominate that pig of a man, Anthony Smith. He's gonna knock him out in the first round with ease. Anthony Smith is out of his prime. He's dog shit. He's not a good fighter. He doesn't have a good chin. Reyes is the better striker, the better grappler. I think he's better all around. If it gets to the ground, I think he can TKO him. If it stays on top, I still think he can KO him. I think Reyes just absolutely dominates this fight, and he will get a first round knockout or he'll get a second round early knockout. Now we're on to the first fight of the main card, Nate Landwehr versus Doo Ho Choi. This fight will probably be the fight of the night. It's going to be a great fight, and it's also a very 50-50 fight. It could go either way. I do have Doo Ho Choi though, because I think Doo Ho Choi is more technical and he has more power. The only thing that I worry about is the pressure of Nate Landwehr. I do think Doo Ho Choi will be able to find a knockout in the second round, and this is how I think it's going to happen. I think Nate Landwehr is going to put a lot of pressure in the first. Doo Ho Choi is going to try to read it. He's going to have trouble. He's going to get, you know, clipped a lot in the first, but then finally in the second, he finds a way and, you know, reads Nate Landwehr's style, and then eventually he finds either a right hook that lands straight on the chin of Landwehr and he will TKO him on the ground. I also do worry about the grappling of Landwehr, but I do think Choi's grappling is a whole lot better since it used to be. So the only thing I need to worry about for Nate Landwehr, or from Nate Landwehr I mean, is, you know, the pressure and the grappling. Other than that, Doo Ho Choi should get this pretty fairly. You know, I don't think this is going to the judges. You know, it's you know, these men both have power. They're both known for knockouts. They're both known, you know, to finish fights. So yes, I do have Doo Ho Choi by second round knockout. Now we're on to the next fight, which makes absolutely no sense. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Why the fuck is somebody that's on a 2-fight losing streak getting a ranked opponent? It makes absolutely no sense. Kron Gracie is gonna get fucking fucking dominated. Honestly, I hope he retires after this fight. I absolutely hate the Gracies now. It makes no sense why he's getting a ranked opponent when he's on a 2-fight losing streak just because he's a Gracie. You know, I talk about Dagestan and privilege or whatever, but you know, the Gracies have some privileges too. Dana Creed likes them, but it's whatever. Bryce Mitchell's gonna dominate him. I think Bryce Mitchell can TKO him, but it's more likely that he wins a unanimous decision. I think he'll be able to out-grapple him, outstrike him, you know, just beat him everywhere and just make him crumble. I have Bryce Mitchell by 30-27 decision. Now we're on to the featured fight of the main card. Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Well. Finally, the bum Ciryl Gane returns after, you know, being gone for a whole fucking year. I do understand why a lot of people are going with Ciryl, but I think Volkov is just more into the game right now. The sport to him is more important. Ciryl does not care about winning or losing. And I do think Volkov is a lot more technical now. He's just a better grappler. He's a better striker. And I think in the kickboxing realm, Volkov has become so much better. If it gets to the ground, Volkov will probably find a choke, or if it stays on top, he'll just have a leg kick battle with Ciryl, which I think he will win. This fight did get postponed from I don't remember, like 309, I'm pretty sure, yeah, 309 or 308, one of those two cards. And it was because, you know, Volkov had a knee injury, but he should be healed by now, and Ciryl Gane is just, you know, just not that good. This is not a 5-rounder, it's a 3-rounder, which makes it more likely for Volkov to win. You know, this is going to be good for Volkov. His cardio is going to be there. He's not going to gas out. So I think Volkov will win at a 29-28 split decision. It's still going to be close. I just think he's going to be able to out-kickbox him and, you know, outpoint him. Now we go on to the co-main event of this card. Shavkat Nomad Rakhmonov versus the future Ian Machado Gary. Now this fight goes one of two ways. Either Ian Gary picks his shots and wins a unanimous decision, or Shavkat picks his shots and dominates Gary and finds a knockout, which I think that's how the fight will go. I think Shavkat is just a lot more tougher than Gary. Yes, I can see Gary still winning, but I think Shavkat will be able to survive through any type of Gary shots. I think the grappling will have, I think Shavkat will have the grappling advantage. I think Shavkat's a better striker. I think Shavkat has more power. I think Shavkat has more submission threats. And Gary has a lot to go through here if he wants to win. Of course, I can still see it. I think Shavkat will lose the first because, Gary always finds a way to win the first round usually. Then Shavkat's gonna start picking up his rhythm, start putting more pressure on. That's when, stuff is gonna become more like scrappy. That's where Gary does not want to be. Gary's gonna try to be out of range with Shavkat. Shavkat is really good in getting in people's range to make it scrappy. So I think Shavkat will either get a submission win in the 4th round or be able to knock out Gary in the 4th round. Now we are on the main event of this card. Alexandre Pantoja versus Kaya Sakura. I obviously have Pantoja winning this fight. I do think Sakura can maybe TKO Pantoja, but it's very unlikely that he'll knock out Pantoja. Steve Erceg, was landing huge shot on Pantoja's. Moreno was doing the same thing, and they both couldn't knock out Pantoja. So I don't think Kaya Sakura will be able to do it. I think Pantoja will just fly by, be able to out-grapple Kaya Sakura. And we also got to remember, Manel Cape knocked out Kaya Sakura. If anybody's getting knocked out, I can see Pantoja getting a knockout on Kaya Sakura. Do I think Kaya Sakura is a fraud? No, I definitely can see him being a good top 5 fighter in the bantamweight division. I just don't know if he's championship level. Would I like to see Kaya Sakura as champion? Yes, because then him versus Tatsuro would be the biggest fight of the year, you know what I mean? But I think Pantoja will, grapple in the 1st, start finding his range in the 2nd, again, start grappling in the 3rd. 4th, Kaya Sakura might start finding his own strikes, but I still think Pantoja will win. And then in the 5th round, Pantoja's just gonna, that's where Pantoja usually does his best in the 5th round. He'll find a way to take your back and just stay on there and just dominate from there. So I think Pantoja will win a unanimous decision sweep. Those are all my predictions for UFC 310. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.